Hello there everybody in YouTube and welcome to the Mr. Sin channel. Today we're going to be talking about life before the first agricultural revolution, the revolution itself, and we'll also get into some animal and crop hearths. So sit back, relax as we learn about the world's first agricultural revolution. If this is your first time watching a Mr. Sin video, welcome. Thanks for supporting the channel and checking out my video. This video is going to be number 1 in a series. I'm going to have another video that'll go into the second agricultural revolution. I'll have one for the green revolution and another one for the fourth revolution. This one's kind of a possible one. The revolution, some say is happening, some say is about to. So make sure to check those out as well. Now, don't forget to use the guided notes. Again, if you've never watched my videos, all my videos have guided notes. You can find them in the description below. I've created the notes to actually help you study and to make sure you remember all the important information. I go over a lot of content and it does help to take notes. Even if you don't use my notes, I recommend at least taking your own. Now, enough of me talking about the other videos and the guided notes. Let's actually go into what agriculture is. Agriculture is the deliberate modification of the Earth's surfaces. Now, the goal of this is we're going to use cultivation to provide substance for people, or we're also going to use it to provide economic gain. So not all agriculture is just for the consumption of people. Some of it is actually for animals and just to sell products to the market, to make money. Now that we have a common understanding of what agriculture is, let's look at life before agriculture. This is a time in history where we have hunters and gatherers. Now, it is important to note that hunters and gatherers are still around today. In fact, actually 0.005% of the world is still practicing hunting and gathering. Not a lot. You can actually see on the screen right over here a couple different areas where people are still practicing hunting and gathering. So it's important to note this isn't completely gone. Some people are still practicing this. However, hunting and gathering was very common pre-agriculture, and this is pre our first agricultural revolution. This is where people would be gathering berries, where we won't have actually job specialization yet, and we're not going to have food surpluses. If we connect this actually to the demographic transition model, this is going to be stage 1. This is where society is very fragile. So a lot of our history was actually, or at least originally, pre-agriculture, where we're in this hunting and gathering lifestyle. Now, over time, hunting and gathering started to change. Originally, everyone traveled in small bands. You had about 50 people in a band. These are kind of tribes. And that was because you didn't have a lot of food. So you had to rely on the people around you. We didn't have job specialization. We're in stage 1 of the demographic transition model, and life isn't the best. But what started to happen around 8000 BC was some trial and error. People started to notice, hey, when we're taking all these different things and we're using our food that we found around the environment and we throw it away, that stuff starts to grow out of it. And when I take these grains and I kind of shake off some of these little circle things and they fall in the dirt and then it rains, all of a sudden now I'm seeing new stalks form. We're seeing some growth. Okay, what if I take these and put them under the ground and then water it? And through trial and error, we started to see agriculture take off. And this is where we get into agricultural hearths. A hearth is a point of origin, and things spread from there. Now, there's a couple different things of why this happened when it did. One, we had the end of the last ice age. This actually made it possible for new life to occur. We also had a desire for humans to want to stay in a fixed place. It's a cultural factor there. Turns out that people don't like always roaming around, and people would like to settle down. And also they wanted to live longer, and that was a way to do so. And then we started to see this again, this accidental evolution of agriculture. People started noticing things over time and they started implementing that in their lives. And then we started to see agriculture take off. And this is our first agricultural revolution. Before we get into that anymore, let's go back to hearths. Let's take a second and actually look at some crop hearths and animal hearths. On the screen right here, you can see all the different crop hearths. These are where they originated in the world. Now, I'm not going to read through all of them, and I'm going to do the same for animals because I don't want to take that much time, and you can read for yourself. But we can see where these kind of started and how eventually maybe they diffused. We'll talk about how they diffused in just a little bit. But right now, just kind of understand where our crop hearths are and our animal hearths. If you need more time, pause this video now. So make sure you have a good understanding of where these all are located, and I'm going to now kind of move on. Again, pause the video if you need to. The first agricultural revolution is underway. This becomes known as the Neolithic Revolution, and it happens particularly in the Fertile Crescent. We started to see a shift from a nomadic lifestyle where people are roaming around to a sedentary one. They're staying in place. And this changes a lot. Now, originally this was a big risk. You're changing everything about the way that people knew how to live. And we have a lot of different effects of this. One, we started to see crop and animal domestication. We started to see now actual increase in populations. Now that we had a stable food surplus, people could actually do other jobs. So we got job specialization. This also led to the division of labor and classes. Some even say that this is maybe one of the worst mistakes humanity's had, because now we also have inequality. When everyone's not doing the same thing, well, some people will do more and some people will do less. And some people have more and some people have less. So we start to see divisions. We also start to see the creation of complex societies, and we start to see humanity really take off. So the Neolithic Revolution had huge implications for us as a species, and this continues on. Now, one of the ways that helps spread this is trade. We're going to talk now about the diffusion of some of these practices. The important thing of this part of the video isn't to memorize all of the different dates here, but to understand how all these things could lead to the diffusion of one of the crop hearse or animal hearse, or even just the concept of agriculture itself. When talking about the diffusion of agriculture, the crop hearse, the animal hearse, I'm going to be giving a bunch of examples right now. You can actually see them on the screen right over here. And one of the things, and the reason why I'm giving all these different examples from different time periods, is because this part of the video is actually focusing on how just in general things diffuse. So yes, not all of these happened, and most of them didn't, during the first agricultural revolution. Actually, how things got diffused there was just more from people talking and traveling within their own communities and starting to also realize on their own. However, over time, all of our agricultural revolutions, and also just in general ideas and people, happen through trade, through travel. So when we're looking at historical events, we can look at major trade routes like the Silk Road that helped diffuse a variety of products and also cultures and languages. We can look at the slave trade, the Columbian Exchange, which, while some things were a negative, the slave trade being one, we saw the diffusion of a lot of ideas and farming techniques and new ways of life that came through these processes. Even when we talk about colonialism and how we have the discovery of the New World and all these European countries that went out and tried to colonize and get colonies and tried to expand their empires, well, they brought ideas with them. They also took some of the ideas from the local areas and brought them back home. This is a process of diffusion. It's expansion, it's relocation. For more on all the different types of diffusion, check out my video that'll cover those. You can click on the card on the top right. For now, the important thing to understand is that when people interact with each other, they exchange ideas. When we trade, when we travel, we're going to spread our knowledge, our culture, our ideas, our innovations, our technology. And that is how throughout history we see the diffusion of everything. Now, this video was really quick at looking at the first agricultural revolution. The second video is going to go into the next agricultural revolution and so forth. So make sure to check those out as well. I hope this video gave you a good kind of quick overview of the first agricultural revolution. If you have any questions at all, make sure to let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. Until next time, I'm Mr. Sin. Thank you for watching the video today, and I'll see you next time online.